Together we rise, together we fly.
What if healing our gut could solve 90% of our problems? And that sounds too good to be true, right? But hear me out. What if a huge part of the stress and the anxiety and the brain fog and even the exhaustion that we're feeling isn't just about lifing, but actually what's happening inside of your body? Have you ever felt like there are times when you're setting goals and you're pushing forward and even making progress, but sometimes we hit a wall? Sometimes we hit a wall of overwhelm and self doubt and overthinking. But what if that wall isn't just mental, but physical too? What if what we're putting in on our plate is what's impacting how we're navigating things in our life? Now, this isn't just about food, it's about freedom. If our gut is our second brain, then taking care of it is not just a health decision, it's a power move for our mindset, for our confidence, and even success. So let's talk about it. What's really happening inside? And how can we take steps to fuel our body and our mind so that we can live our lives bold, fulfilled, and free? Hello, Tamia. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. How was your weekend?
It was good. How was your weekend?
It was pretty nice. It was our anniversary, so
Mm.
we went out to eat and to a nice jazz concert.
Okay.
Really enjoyed it. It was, we haven't been to one in quite some time, so that was just
Mhm.
really, really nice.
Okay. I'm glad you had a good weekend.
Yes, and believe it or not, when I went out to eat,
Hmm.
because I've been on this journey of making sure I eat the right things, I actually Googled the restaurant and see what type of healthy food choices that they
Okay.
had. And I wanted to share something with you. I happened to see this quote, and
Hmm.
I mean, it really kind of like jumped out at me. It says, I've got 99 problems, but healing my gut solved like 90 of them. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't even recognize that, we make one simple change, and my goodness, how we
Hmm.
can just transform our lives and make it different. And I've noticed that since I've been on this journey of, healing my gut. And the more I focus on what I'm putting in, how I'm drinking, not so much soda and juices and things like that, drinking the water and,
Hmm.
the alkaline water and the different things, the dandelion, some of the things in it, I'm not sure what they are, but it's doing some good things. I know it's lemon and
Hmm.
dandelion is one more thing in there. I can't figure out what that is, but
Key lime.
it's really good. I've been
Hmm.
enjoying it. I've had this other drink where it's called
With the
Bye Bye
water,
Gut.
with the water is key lime.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, that's what that little thing is.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then I
Hmm.
had it's called Bye Bye Gut. That had the alkaline water. I know it had lemon and cayenne pepper. And I
And
thought,
honey.
oh my God, it had sunny in it too. Okay.
Hmm. Yep.
Now that took a lot of the bloatness away, feeling that bloat feeling that you get or that you have in your stomach. It
Okay.
definitely helped, in that area. So
Hmm.
I'm just been a witness to, the different things that can happen in your body, and I'm
Hmm.
so glad that I had an opportunity to meet you, that you can help me, on this journey. And I do have a question for you. Typically, when we take an interest in different topics, it's usually something that we've experienced that's kind of draw us to that. Is that
Hmm.
true for you?
Um, I'd say so, yes.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, would you like to share what it was?
Um, sure. Can you repeat your question one more time? I'm just trying to.
A lot of times when we pick a topic or something that we're interested in, even as a coach, when we
Hmm.
pick our niche, sometimes it's something that's we're passionate about, and it's usually
Hmm.
something that we experience that's caused us to have that passion. So I was just asking you, what was
Oh,
it that you
yes, yeah.
experienced that caused you to have that passion?
So, what got me into gut health is really, I struggled with gut issues for a very long time before I knew it was gut issues. So, it would just be like my stomach constantly hurting, or me being nauseous, or me just being, tired, or not having an appetite, or, just constantly feeling lethargic.
Mm,
And after some time, that gets tiring, and it gets, depressing and overwhelming, because it's like I'm having all these symptoms and I'm not feeling well, and I don't know why I'm not feeling well. So, as I was going through those symptoms and things like that, I take, Tylenol, Motrin, things like that to, help with the stomach pains. So, in the midst of me taking those medicines, I was taking Motrin, and when I eventually went to the doctor, it was the Motrin that was messing up the lining in my stomach, which, okay, so I'd throw up, and me throwing up, that already messes with your stomach, and, nobody likes to throw up constantly. So then I'm taking the Motrin along with me already throwing up. So that, messed up the lining in my stomach, which also caused the issues with my gut as well.
mm,
So, after going to the doctor, getting, advice, things like that, they suggested that I needed more fiber and, things like that. So I started to, implement fiber into my diet, and things, started to get better. But as you do anything in life, you have to be consistent with it. And, even though I, help people with healing their gut and bettering themselves, I still have to have discipline for myself in some areas, because, you know, I'm not going to say, nobody likes to follow a diet consistently, because some people do, and that's great for them. But sometimes I have trouble sticking with my diet, and that's something that I'm working on within myself. But yes, still a work in progress. I have way less stomach issues now than I've had before. That's came with changing my diet, having a routine, and just making sure that I'm not putting foods inside of my body that I know will trigger my stomach issues pretty
yeah.
much.
Wow,
So
that's
after,
interesting.
doing all of that and learning all the information that I've learned,
Mhm.
I know that there's a lot of other people in the world that struggle with the same things that I struggle with. And I mean, I feel like me being young and me being into, social media and things like that, I could be one to, push the story and, give advice as a younger person to reach younger crowds. Because, if you don't hit that issue and target it and, treat it while you're young, as you get older, it's only going to get worse.
So true, so true. And
Yeah.
I'm going to make you laugh because I definitely can understand what you're talking about. I had said, "Oh, I like fried wings." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get me some fried wings." And I
Hmm.
went and I got them. And by the time I got home and I got started eating them, it was horrible. I was like, "Oh my world, I wasted my money." But then
Hmm.
again, I was grateful. I said, "Okay, Lord, you're really helping me." You say, "Okay, you think you're gonna cheat, but I'm gonna take that taste away from you."
Yup.
Not even going to desire it anymore. I was like, oh my goodness. And I mean, wings was something that I really like. I would, I would go to that place often and
Hmm.
purchase, buy them or whatever. So that really kind of got to me. And as you was talking, I was thinking about it. It's interesting because sometimes we have many roadblocks, like you
Hmm.
just said, that kind of stop us from, doing things that we know that is good for us.
Right.
And what would you say some of those roadblocks would be?
For me personally, I'd say being consistent.
Mm,
Um, consistent Consistency is probably my number one. Discipline and routine, really, I have a routine that, I do every day and things like that. And when I first started this journey, me implementing those different supplements or fiber, or making sure I have a full hearty breakfast in the morning, that was a little bit challenging, because I'm used to, just getting up and going versus, taking time to actually uh meditate in the morning, like sit with myself, have a warm drink, like actually, practice self-care and do what I need to do to make sure that my gut is taken care of. But I'd say over time, after getting the feeling of, having a healed gut and, doing those routines and things like that, I like how I feel. So if I, get out of whack and fall off of my routine, I start to feel like that. So it's important that I stick to my routines and, stick to my self-care rituals and things like that to make sure that I'm able to get through my day to day. Because if I don't, it'll be a problem. But it wasn't always like that though. It took time. And, that's why I always tell people you're not going to be the person you're trying to become. If you're starting today, you're not going to be that person tomorrow. Everything is a work in progress. You have to constantly work on yourself. As we grow older, we're always going to learn something new every day. And, you just have to meet yourself where you are and just gradually excel every day.
Wow. And what I hear, my takeaway from what you're saying is definitely just, embrace and enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Sometimes we focus so much on the destination and we miss some of the
Mhm.
very nuggets that we can gain even
Yeah.
along the way. Even when, like you said, even when you fall off, you still learn something about yourself. You learn something like, okay, maybe I need to do this. Because I know when I first made that change, because I know how I am. I
Mhm.
had to remove all the things out of my house that I would normally eat. So I gave away all my tea. I love green peak, gold peak, green tea,
Mhm.
chips and pretzels and all those sweet things. I had to just get rid of them because I know that if they were in the house, all I could do is take one
Mhm.
a little bit, and then I'm next thing you know, I'm back to do it. So the other thing I think is good is that we really knowing, our limitations and being honest with ourselves
Right.
and knowing, what we can really handle and what we can't. Now, for some people can have that stuff around them and it doesn't bother them, they won't be tempted. That wouldn't work for me.
Right.
So
Right.
and recognizing that, I knew that I needed to get them away. And as you were talking, and even the audits, I want you to think about this. Have you ever had a time in your life when you kind of felt like you were stuck? You were doing all the right things, and even though you were doing all the right things, you kind of felt exhausted. You were feeling overwhelmed. You
Mhm.
found yourself constantly overthinking. And even as you're accomplishing some great things and some amazing things, then you start kind of downing yourself and you start saying, can I really do this? Or is
Mhm.
this really, really possible for me? I had a young lady who was, sharing that with me. And then she talked about how, as time went on, she finally learned that it was what she was eating that was causing her to have inflammation in her body and it
Mhm.
was increasing her stress levels. And she realized that these were some of the things that was causing some of these feelings and things that she was having. And once she changed her diet, she was saying how she really, really began to change, how her life began to change. And then I was hearing that if you pay attention to the foods that give you energy, and then there's foods that drain you.
Mhm. Yes. I'd say, your fruits, your vegetables, your proteins, things like that. There's a lot of foods that, will give you energy or help, boost your energy, but I'd say the foods that, take away your energy are sugary foods, you know, the chips, the candy, the snack cakes, things like that. They may give you, a sugar rush for, couple minutes, couple hours, whatever, but if you're eating too much of that, eventually
Mhm,
you're gonna crash.
mhm.
So whole foods are the foods that, give you energy, and those are the things that you should, constantly be putting inside of your body versus, that fake stuff that they have in the stores. And it
And
may
what I
be
like
good.
that I've learned since I've known you is that
Mhm.
you're really serious about educating people on the importance and the value of gut health to the point that you actually created an ebook
Mhm.
to help us to be able to have a healthy and be able to heal our our gut. Can you
Yes.
share about your book?
Yes, so the book that I wrote is called Heal Thy Gut. It's a 4-week guide that comes with all the information on how to heal your gut, why we feel the way we feel, how our gut and our brain are connected. It comes with the routine, it comes with 4 weeks of meals, along with a shopping list and a bunch of information. But I'll show you one of the pages from the book, being that we're talking about the gut and our brain. I'll share this page with you.
Yes.
Um, Here we have understanding your moods and how they relate to the gut brain axis. So, um, I'll just, read this one section. First, let's understand the gut brain axis so you can understand how it relates to your moods. The gut brain axis is the two-way communication between the central nervous system and the nervous system in your gut. Some of the key players in the gut brain axis are the gut microbiome, the gut microbiome and the vagus nerve, which play a part in digestion and hormone production. Now that you know little about the gut-brain axis, it may be easier to understand how your mood has anything to do with the gut-brain axis. This connection tells us that stress, anxiety, and depression can influence digestive function and mood. Have you ever been upset over a situation, maybe a little worried about something that hasn't happened yet? Next thing you know, you're running for the bathroom. Yes, you can thank the gut-brain axis. So, pretty much you can have anxiety about something, just to be something simple. It doesn't even have to be something life-changing. You could have a test, or, you could have a big talk in front of a crowd or something like that. Your stomach hurts. And not even, in a pain hurt, but your stomach feels, weak because you're nervous. And, then you go to the bathroom. It's like your gut is alerting your brain like, oh snap, like this is about to happen, like this is real. And even though you may use the bathroom, that was your gut telling your brain like, okay, I have anxiety. Not to say that after you use the restroom, that anxiety is going to go away, because it's natural. However, that's, the connection. That's an example of the connection.
Mhm.
And anxiety is natural, so all the time, even though you eat whole foods, or eat foods that aid and supporting that, you still may get it, but it'll be less severe than, if you were to eat a whole bunch of sugary foods or non-whole foods, or, just eating junk, pretty much. That's, a difference. But I'd say in the event, that one does have anxiety, I always recommend ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is God sent. I love it. Have you ever heard of ashwagandha?
No, no.
So ashwagandha is a herb. They have it in powder form. They have it in, I believe they also have it in like liquid form and like drinks and stuff like that. But
Mm.
it's a calming supplement. So it helps you, stay mellow throughout the day. It helps with anxiety. I'd say it would support depression. It doesn't make you happy or anything like that.
Mhm.
But for one that's, always on the go and, just feeling on edge 24/7, ashwagandha would be a great supplement to implement into your day to day.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, I recommend the blue Goli gummies.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And
Yes.
how would you purchase them? Where would you get them from?
You can get them from Walmart, you can get them from Target, Rite Aid, to any regular store, pretty much grocery store, health store, anything like that, and they're about
Mm.
$9. They have a small bottle that's about, I think, 30 gummies, and they have a big bottle for, I think it's about 60 in that one.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when you're purchasing things like that, should
Mm-hmm.
you be, how could I ask this question? Be conscious of, the ingredients. Are some products, better for you, even though it's the same thing? Do sometimes some products have things in there that's not beneficial? How can you distinguish between the two? I guess is really what I'm asking.
So one thing I like to do, aside from like herbs and things like that, like supplements, if I'm looking at a product in the store, if I can't recall like any of the ingredients inside, I mean any of the foods, inside the ingredients, then I wouldn't recommend getting it. So like so to say you were buying some juice or something like that. Lemonade, for example, lemonade should only have, lemon, sugar, water, and, whatever other flavor is in that lemonade. However, nowadays, if you go to the store and buy lemonade, there's like 30 ingredients in it. Lemonade doesn't need, 30 ingredients. So, that's, one way. More so like healthy things, some people may not be familiar with a lot of herbs or things like that.
Mhm.
I'd always recommend, looking up the ingredients if you're not familiar with it or if you never heard of it or anything like that. There's an app, I think it's called Euro. Have you ever heard of that? Like
Mm,
the
mm,
healthy app. Yeah, I believe it's called Euro, and
mm,
it has pretty much almost any product that you can find in the store, and you just scan it on your phone, and it has a scale from 1 to 100 on how healthy the
wow.
product is. I personally haven't had the time to use it, but I see a lot of people use it. They say it's pretty accurate. So, I'd recommend using that as well because you can, go to the store and things can say organic or things can, say that they're one thing, but it's like once you look at the ingredients, it's like,
Mm,
yeah, it's organic, but look at all the ingredients you put in it to make it organic. If it was organic, it wouldn't
mm.
have that many ingredients, you
Wow,
know?
wow.
Yeah.
This has been really educational and
Hmm.
informative, and I'm so excited that, we agreed that we would do this on a monthly basis and we would, continue this topic on, our gut and how it affects, the various areas in
Hmm.
our bodies. And in closing, I just wanted to think about this, sometimes, to our viewers, they might say, what kind of habits, what things could I do? What kind of habits could I engage in that's going to help me be able to grow and to evolve. So I'm going to tell you, the first one would be to take care of your gut.
Hmm.
And as we do that, it increases our focus. And, we're starting there is definitely a good place. A second thing would be to begin to move your body daily. Just exercise. You'd be amazed how much that can improve, your gut and your brain function. And I'm sure you could say just going for a walk, it doesn't necessarily have to be strenuous or something like that. Another thing would be to manage stress. That's definitely a key to, the gut brain
Hmm.
balance. And as you already stated, eating whole foods.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
going to definitely help us, and the last thing would be just you mentioned this too, take consistent action. So it's not so much about being perfect, but it's
Hmm.
just trying to make sure that you're implementing these things in your daily life. So I'm gonna run through this list again. You want to take care of yourself, move your body, manage stress, eat whole foods, and take consistent action. And if you want to know more about how you can do these things, I would reach out to Mia and find out how you can purchase her ebook. You definitely connect with her, and you can have more questions. And these things are also important when it comes to us living our lives bold, fulfilled, and free. Because as we already stated, how our gut can impact our emotions and and impact how our brain operates and function. So when we're not operating at our best level emotionally, that can really hinder us from truly being able to live our lives bold, fulfilled, and free. So that's why we're here. We're here to support you to be able to live your best life, to be able to live your life fulfilled, be able to live your life bold, and be able to live your life free. So we decided that we wanted to connect as we realized that they both are one and the same. And I'll go back to that first quote I said. They had 99 problems. I had 100, yeah, 99 problems. And when I cleared up my gut, 90 of them were solved. So just think how, as we work on these things, how many problems, other problems can be solved. So to
Mhm.
me, I just thank you. I appreciate you. I thank you for what you're doing in my life. And I thank you for being open and willing to share what you know with others so that we all can be healthy and live our lives fulfilled. So, guys, until next time, again, you know, I'm saying it 1,000 times, we want you to live bold, fulfilled, and free. Take care.
Take care.